And we're going to take it all the way back to the beginning. When I said how many here were National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation fans, boy did I get a cheer.
And it's coming, 'tis the season.
It is, yes. So tell us a little bit about getting that role, because that was your first big movie, and you were taking over for another character.
That's right. So, you know, when you're a kid, you don't think in terms of big pressure like that. And so it was very exciting, because I was a fan of the regular Vacation movie with Anthony Michael Hall, and of course Randy Quaid, and where they go to Wally World. So I grew up with that. And then there I was auditioning for Chevy Chase to play a Griswold. And I never knew, you just don't know, that in the future I was going to be in everyone's household for every year for, we don't know when, but like you can't predict that stuff. And so now when I see families and they tell me I'm a part of their family, you know, I get emotional. It's a very big deal. And Chevy Chase was really nice to me, and it was a very big deal because it was a big studio movie. We did some of it in the cold in Colorado, but most of it was on a lot in Universal or Warner Brothers or somewhere in there in California with fake snow and all that stuff.
Nice.
That was my very long answer.
No, that was great. I know that we watch it every Christmas. Do you go back and watch it at Christmas?
I only know, for me it's very happy because then I know it's a vacation has started. Like, you know, you're working less and it's the holiday. Oh, I love it. But no, I don't really see it that much myself.
What was it like? Because as you said, you were very young and you're working with Chevy Chase, and then after that you're with, you know, Robert De Niro, with Cape Fear. Like, what was it like being so young and working with such established actors?
Well, it's really neat because I came into the movie business through my dad, Jeffrey Lewis. Every now and then I get emotional because he did these cons before it was like real popular, and these conventions have given a lot of love and life to a lot of these old-timer actors and people also in horror movies that don't always get the love to play these beloved characters. And so it's really sweet. And so he would do these conventions, I remember like 15 years ago, and that's one of the hard things when you lose a parent, is I wish I could talk to him about these. Like when I'm at my panel and you see all the other actors' names, people I grew up with, like it's just thrilling. But anyway, I came into the movie business through him, and so I had like, I guess, a realistic approach to making movies as where people with imaginations and storytellers go. I didn't learn about it through magazines or anything like that. So to answer your question, that was a long lead up to say, when I worked with Chevy or De Niro later, I just wanted to do a good job, and I just wanted to show what I had, and I did have a lot to give and still do, and so I didn't know to be as intimidated. So it was only later that I saw Taxi Driver and Mean Streets, but I had only seen Goodfellas before Cape Fear. So I didn't know that what him and Scorsese meant to American cinema, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
You play the characters you play are so varied and so intense, and I'm wondering what kind of prep work you do to get into those characters.
Well, a lot of it comes from when I was young. I always liked to people watch, and I would always imagine people's pain or what they go through, or how we all try to get through the day and stuff like that. And I would so that's what I do when I'm playing human beings, is I'm giving life to different personalities. But I also like to people watch, like the way, literally like how people walk, how we talk. Everyone's different. I love the differences, and I try to play parts different than myself, even though there's a lot of myself in the things I play. So yeah, I prepare in different ways. Like for Cape Fear, for instance, I had met a young girl in a park who had a baby kitten, and she was like this a lot, and she had bangs, and she always looked like she had a secret. And so that I emulated that behavior because I wasn't like that character. So I like to, you know, I like to take from things I observe in my environment. That's one way to prepare, yeah.
How about preparing for Mallory Knox?
This is fun. When I took on Mallory, I knew this was my time to compete with the big boys. And what I mean by that is in 1995, there weren't a lot of women or girls that could show savagery and this primal energy stuff. And so I really was excited to showcase that kind of emotion. And it's also the demand of the job. Whatever the job demands, I'm like, okay. So I took fighting lessons. We took all kinds of weaponry, like gun training, and then Oliver Stone. He just wanted the very best from us, and every idea I came up with, he never turned it down. And he also gave us music. He introduced me to Patti Smith. I never heard of her at the time. Isn't that amazing? Leonard Cohen, Nine Inch Nails, of course. And it was really special. So like even in the beginning where like Mallory is screaming like a banshee, that's just like me. I was in the shower like washing my hair. I was like, oh, maybe she starts going, I can't even make the noise. Maybe I'm jumping and she makes a banshee animalistic sounds. And so I told Oliver, what if she does this? And he's like, try it. And so a lot of the stuff in that movie is stuff that he encouraged and that I contributed. It was really neat.
So I'm guessing that taking on that character, because I know that, you know, your body, when you're acting, you know, it's not you, but you're feeling those feelings and your body is experiencing that. And I'm imagining, you know, playing someone like Mallory, was it hard to then get out of that?
No, a more difficult time I had was recently in this movie called The Thicket. That, I think it's on Tubi now. It had a limited release. It's with Peter Dinklage. It's a Western, but she's also a savage killer, but much more quiet, much more realistic. And that was very difficult. That made me sad. Because it's weird, because it's me as Juliet, but carrying the energy of another personality in my chest. And when I think about it, it was so sad. It was such a difficult role, because she's really dark. But Mallory was, I guess we had so much to do, so I'm just focused on the task at hand, and we were always, it was a trip. It was like the traveling circus. I really enjoyed that movie in hindsight, but it was tough to shoot, just because, I mean, we shot in a prison, a working prison, you know, and I'm real sensitive to energy, so that was intense.
Does it ever, because, you know, Natural Born Killers is a satirical view of America's obsession with violence, and now you get people, you know, wearing Mallory Knox shirts and coming to your table. Does it ever kind of scare you sometimes, the people who are somewhat obsessed with the show? Or?
Well, I'm going to tell you about yourselves. Some of the greatest fans or people, lovers of art, or the horror genre fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I hadn't done these conventions. My first one was a horror convention, right? And it's I think a year ago, so I was nervous. And I just love everyone's creativity. I think people get it. And there's something can be oddly healthy of when you transfer energy or darkness into the arts. Same with dark music or heavy, like hardcore, or like way back when they wanted to ban music. I mean, that came up in the 80s, so they were like, put a label on, they were mad at Metallica. I'm not sure. And I listened to like The Cure, Disintegration, and that it got me through my hardest times. So it's really interesting. But yeah, to answer your question, it's a sea of humanity. 99% of the time, people are incredible.
We should talk a little bit about Yellow Jackets when I brought that up. Natalie is a very layered, intense character. I'm just wondering, as the audience slowly gets the pieces of her backstory, did you get the whole story at the beginning of filming? Did you get it bit by bit? How much did you know when you went into it?
TV series are really tough to do because as they go on, like the second season, they can just sort of surprise you and go, well, now she does this, and she's not that intense, or she's very quiet. It's not what I prefer to know everything I'm doing, but I did know that they lived through something real darkness in when the plane crashes and particular terrible things they feel bad about. So I knew a little bit about that. But yeah, it was a hard character to play. At first it was fun. I just love my scenes with Christina Ricci. Yeah. That was so fun for me. Yeah. Well, in front for us, right? Because I always saw her, she's like my younger sister. I saw her in movies during the same time that I came up. So it was really neat to share the screen with her. And of course I love Melanie Lynskey as well. It was real neat with that cast. We were all fans of each other. Yeah.
Such a great.
We spent some funny nights together, like in our dressing room, like we were in outside beautiful places, but you're huddled by like a little heater, and we were playing Trivial Pursuit. Waiting to shoot and finding a dead body or whatever the thing is, and we would play like. I'm not very good at that game, but it's something to do.
We're going to open it up now if you guys want to start lining up. While they're doing that, I'll just ask you, you've played so many characters. I don't know if you have a favorite or one that's close to your heart.
Gosh, it's, as you're asking that, there's some characters I love because they were firsts for me. So like Adele Corners from California. She, to me, that was my first official character where I was a stretch of really not being myself. So that's near and dear. And I improv'd a lot, which is where you add a lot of made-up lines and stuff. But this character I just did in The Thicket was really special. There's some comedies I did, like even Old School, where I'm playing this goofy girl. But basically anything that people remember me from, it's different when you get older. In hindsight, you appreciate things differently, also than when you're in the moment doing it sometimes. Yeah.
All right, go on up.
Hi, Juliet.
Hi.
My question was, how do you quickly get into character, right before action, and then, how do you get out of character after cut? You have to switch so fast and so much, while filming. Do you have any tips or techniques for that?
Yeah, I'm a big believer. I don't know if you know this motto, fake it till you make it. So when you got nothing else, you just commit to it. So I've had to play things that I don't fully understand. Why is it go? Like I did this movie by the Christopher McQuarrie, who wrote The Usual Suspects. He writes incredible crime dramas that I don't even know half of what's going on in the show. What was it? Wait, it's with Benicio del Toro. Fuck, I'm forgetting. Sorry, Way the Gun. Anyway, I just would, it'd be like, she's pregnant, and then there's these robbers, and then this happens, and it's a lot of make-believe, just what if, what would you feel like if you were in this scenario? And you just commit to make-believe, because as kids, we all did that, like, I don't know if you had siblings, to get your brother in trouble, you might have cried and made a big drama show. For your parents, that's acting. But yeah, and to get out of character, I usually walk outside. I look at nature a lot. I really do. I geek out. I look at birds and trees and really connect with the present moment. That's what I do.
Thank you.
Hi, I've loved your career and watched everything you're in. I just wanted to say that. But my question is one you never get asked, but you should get asked every day. What's your favorite dinosaur?
No, I was just gonna say, do you guys understand she's wearing a dinosaur outfit? You immediately, my boyfriend has 3 boys, and the middle one is obsessed with dinosaurs. He schooled me, and I'm forgetting all their names. Because they're like 5-letter words, you know, like
I get it.
something raptor,
Velociraptor.
Day something.
That's mine too.
Is that the little
Yeah.
guys? Well, they like the ones with the sort of fin spike heads. I don't know what they're.
Yeah, the chihuahuas of dinosaurs. Thank you.
Hi. First of all, I want to say I love your work. I came from Vancouver, BC to come see you and your father's work as well. It's
Thanks.
just a big thing in my heart. So in movies like California and more so Natural Born Killers, I always kind of saw it as more like a lover's story. Did you have that kind of take on it?
A what story?
Like a lover's story, more than like a homicidal kind of horror.
Yeah.
So did you take it more as a lover's story, or did you look more towards like the violence aspect?
Well, California is totally different because she did get killed in the end. But she did love him. She loved him very much.
So more towards like Natural Born Killers.
He killed her. Yeah, Natural Born Killers. It's true. It was twisted love. Yeah, I mean that's at the heart of it. We had to play that they would do all these things together and for each other, especially when he broke her out of her home life. Yeah, it was really profoundly special because I also love what Woody Harrelson has done in his future career. Like he really evolved into a spectacular actor, and we're a little bit like family when I see him. So what I'm trying to say is we had really great chemistry, and it just happened that way so that we could play all those wild scenes together.
Yeah, like on the bridge when
Yeah.
living all the oceans.
Yeah. I mean, it was written, those are the lines in the movie right there. That was Quentin Tarantino's intent with some of those characters he's written. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, now I fell in love with you at Cape Fear, but when you mentioned Patti Smith, it made me think about Juliet and the Licks. Like, what was your main emphasis to do the rock star thing?
Thanks. Can you show everybody your face right now? So good.
Love, yes.
See, look at this considerate question, but if I saw you just walking outside, good Lord. That would be scary. So yeah, when Julia and the Licks, so this was what was in my heart. When I was a kid, I used to do musicals. I sang and danced and liked characters. And so when I got successful early on, I had to reclaim my dreams, which was to do music as well. I was go, wait a second, let me pause for a minute and just become a songwriter. And so the first thing I did was I put a band together. I called friends I knew who knew musicians. And one of my guys in the Licks was Todd Morse. He's out with Offspring now. He's been with them for 10 years. And we wrote songs in my living room, but it was all just like baby steps, you know, there was no big label or anything, and it was for the love of it. And so when we toured a bunch, it was a really big deal that people came, and we put on a really good show. I'm proud of. That's my band. I'm proud of them because they're so great.
Yeah, I'm glad it was fun. I'm proud of it too.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
That's sweet.
And you
See,
guys,
he was proud of me. And he's a cool zombie killer.
and if you guys get the chance when she comes to town, she rocks. I have been to one of her shows in the front, and oh my God, she rocks. Come see her when she comes to your town.
Thanks. That's sweet.
Hi, Juliet.
Hi.
That was actually kind of what I was going to ask you, is when are you going to bring Juliet and the Licks up to Seattle for a show?
right.
Because you play LA a lot.
Yes. Well, you know, we used to tour like 10 years ago, and that's all we did. And then all my guys are in other bands. I'm trying to do more movies. And so we're going to play shows next year. And Seattle, we loved playing Seattle.
I'd love to have you.
Thank you.
I also wanted to shout you out in your role in Ma. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh,
If you
good.
guys don't know Ma, watch Ma.
It's a fun Halloween. It's a fun horror movie. It's more like 80s psychological. It's like the horror movies I grew up with. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm really huge fan of your work.
Thank you.
I noticed that a lot of the characters that you play seem to have this kind of intense vulnerability about them. And one of my favorite examples of that is Adele in California. I love watching you on the screen as that character. And I'm curious how much of that vulnerability is really written on the page and already kind of clear from the beginning, versus how much of that are you really bringing to that character or other characters as well, just that kind of like innocence where the audience almost feels protective of
Yeah.
her throughout.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm always looking to play something super authentic with layers, because I think most people are that way. And so even if somebody's written as naive, which is innocent, you know, not knowing too many things, I'm trying to give it some depth. And so what's her, Kate Fear, or that character was written like that, you know, because she's a young girl and she doesn't have the instincts yet to know what's a bad guy or what to avoid. And then similarly, Adele, I feel like, to me, I was very deliberately playing a person that was stuck as a 9-year-old, because she had a traumatic event with, she says in the movie, as a 9-year-old. So I was making it like she was stuck there, like almost in time. And so that's a choice I made, but it's not necessarily written like that. It's just written that she's naive a little bit. But yeah. But intense vulnerability, yes, it's something I gave to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can move that.
Anyway, so I was just curious, in Natural Born Killers, how was that snake bite scene filmed?
It's one of my favorite stories to tell. I don't know that it would happen today. So, you know, I like to, if I don't know, if I'm scared of something, I like to ask questions. I like to learn about what it is I'm supposed to do. So we were doing night shoots. What that means is you show up at work at 6 p.m. and you're gonna wrap out at 6 a.m. And that night was me and Woody acting like we're on mushrooms, and we walk back and we get bit, he gets bit, or we both get bit by snakes. And so there were real life snakes there. And so I talked to the rattlesnake wrangler. That was his job. He's called the rattlesnake wrangler. And so there was a big aquarium of rattlesnakes, and they did a close-up of a fake leg. It was a gene, and they were trying to get the rattlesnake to bite this leg. And I was like, why isn't it biting? And he's like, oh, rattlesnakes don't really bite you when they're cold. And it was freezing. And I was like, oh, okay, good to know. So I lodged that. Because Woody and myself, we had to walk through the dark, and there were real rattlesnakes, just coiled up, and then there were fake rattlesnakes. And that's what I'm saying. This would not happen today. And the cameraman had to walk backwards like this with the camera, and they're like around. You know, what are you just gonna trust? A rattlesnake's not gonna move? And so the first cameraman was like, fuck this, I'm not doing this. I'm out. Legit, that's what he did. And then there was always somebody crazier than the last guy. So then the other camera guy was like, I'll do it. He had like served in Vietnam. He was one of Oliver's friends and a great cameraman. Anyway, he did it. Nobody got bit. And we acted our part like we're stumbling around on shrooms. We avoided the real rattlesnakes. And to answer your question, it was a fake leg when the bite actually happened. Yes. But I get to this day, say I walked through live rattlesnakes.
Actually, my question isn't in regards to this movie. It's actually about one of your other movies. With it, Iron Maiden is one of my favorite characters in any movie of all time. How intense is the training for that? Did you actually
So
I was
intense.
gonna say the roller derby, was that like?
Yes. So here's one of the things in acting where I was saying fake it till you make
Yeah.
it. So you get the call like, hey, there's this roller derby movie Drew Barrymore's gonna direct, but have you ever skated before? And I was like, oh yeah, all the time. I always skate. I skate on the weekend, I rollerblade. This is exactly what you do as an actor, you lie. And then, but I had skated, but not since I was 11. So they did audition us on a flat, what's called a bank track. No, is that a flat track? Thank you for our derby people in the audience. And so we just did a little bit, and I could skate regularly, but we had incredible derby girls that helped us look good. And then once I got padded up and I learned how to fall, like just to roll out and that I wouldn't hurt myself that much, I was more fearless. Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
I was just wondering if you're hangry yet.
Oh my gosh, she was in the elevator. She knows I wanted lunch. No, I'm delighted by everyone's questions and I'm doing good. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna have to end now, but I will ask you about your upcoming projects before we go. But before that, it's HorrorCon, so I have to ask, what's your favorite scary movie?
Guys, I'm an 80s person, the horror movies, the original. Thank you. And I'm sure a lot of people have a brother or a dad to thank for their horror experience, but my older brother took me to horror movies when I was far too young. The first one I ran out of was called Phantasm. It's terrifying. And then the original is Halloween. How exciting that the original Mike Myers is here. Also, Adrian from Swamp Thing, the Fog. Oh, wow, that was in my household. We played that. Wait, what's another one? There's so many good ones. But I know there's a lot. To me, it's the most radical genre now where they're trying new ideas. And thank God for that, because I want people to do more adventurous things in cinema. So, yay.
Awesome. Okay, so upcoming projects that we should be looking for you in.
Okay, well, I just did The Thicket, and then with Peter Dinklage, and then, I probably look weird, I was like, "Eh," and she has a camera. And then I'm about to go shoot a movie with Jason Segel. He's in this show, How I Met Your Mother. He's really great. It's like action comedy. It's a movie called The Trip, and I'm going to Finland right after this on Monday. Isn't that fun?
Awesome. Well, we will look for those. Everybody, please put your hands together for